when you have a negative thought, and negative thoughts come in all forms. When you have a negative thought, it's like that robber standing at the door of your mind and of your heart. And you decide who you let in. And you decide who you feed. Many of us, the problem is that when we get negative thoughts, everyone does. We can't control necessarily who knocks on the door of our home, but we get to control who we let in. Similarly, you might not be able to control the thoughts that knock on the door. Are you with me? But you definitely have the tools and the capacity, especially with training and healing and therapy, if necessary, to control which thoughts you allow in and then feed. Are you with me? So, what are the different types of negative thoughts that knock on the door of our minds? One of them is fear. As I mentioned in the ayah at the beginning, fear is a natural part of life. We get afraid of all sorts of things. I'm afraid that someone is going to harm me or my family. I'm afraid of getting sick. I'm afraid of losing my loved one. I'm afraid of losing my job. I'm afraid. We have fears. Natural part of life. But how do you deal with your fear? How you deal with your fear determines the difference between the person who keeps the door closed and calls the police versus the person who opens the door, says, come on in, have some maqluba and shay, and stay a while. Right? You do not give access to your home for someone like that because you know they're there to do harm, right? But many of us do this exact thing with our negative thoughts. We don't just open the door. We serve a lot of different courses of meals. You know, there's like a 7-course meal. We give so much food to these negative thoughts. We give time. We give space. What does that look like? Well, in the example of fear, let's go back to that example. I told you we all have fears. I told you sometimes those fears knock on our door. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if this bad thing happens? But some of us will take that fear that just knocked and we'll start to feed it. We'll think about all the scenarios of what's going to happen, how is it going to feel, what is that person going to do, then what are you going to do, then how is that going to make them feel, that's how is it going to make you feel, and very quickly, and then the world is just over. And all of this scenario has happened where? Did it happen in real life? Where did it happen, everyone?